This week is Baby Loss Awareness Week, raising awareness of losing children, losing babies, and how support groups are out there to help people and parents about what they've gone through. I'm here with Matt. He is at the Sands Football Club. They are a football club in Hull, and they came together for baby loss. The people that are at the club, they've all experienced it and they all support one another. Can you just tell me, Matt, what your experience is with baby loss?
Yeah, when I first found out about Sands United, it was only through default, through my wife. She worked with somebody who was affected, or is affected, sorry, and they just needed a little bit more support for what they were doing at the time. There was only, I think, a small handful, maybe about 6 or 7 guys there that were part of the football club, and I just wanted to get back into sport. That was the main reason why I went and did it. Only when I started with them did it truly kind of come to light what Sands United were all about and how they were linked to Sands, the national charity, and how baby loss awareness it's crucial and it's massive, because it's not really spoken about as such. From there, I support the team and I was supporting everybody's loss, but I wasn't really sure about what I was kind of getting into. Only when we were meeting and we were talking and you hear all of the experiences from all of the guys that you really started to understand kind of the significance of why Sands United was set up in the first place back in 2019. From there, I got married in 2020, and I became directly affected myself back then. So it's kind of, I was already part of something that existed for the support that I needed. Not only me, my wife as well, and the families. Although Sands United itself is mainly for, dads, brothers, uncles, grandfathers, anybody that's directly affected on the male side of things. To have it there right at a point when I needed it was absolutely crucial to getting me and my family through what is one of the hardest times to go through, and one of the worst experiences you can ever imagine that a family has to deal with. Yeah, sorry.
It's just so tough, and it was a stillbirth, wasn't it, that you went through?
Mine wasn't necessarily stillbirth. With baby loss awareness, a lot of people think losing a child is all about stillbirth, and it is. Don't get me wrong, it is. But it's such a kind of a broad spectrum of when it comes to baby loss. You've got miscarriage and still, neonatal death, stillbirth. So everybody has their own experiences and, their own journey that they've been on and their own kind of stories to tell. But ultimately, the main core of it, whether it's a general miscarriage, 6, 7, 8 weeks, or whether it is actually a stillbirth, a loss is a loss. It's still a life that isn't here to, share the day with us and, sit in the garden and with you and just, enjoy the sunshine as we've got today. It's a glorious day, but it's memories of, what could have been. So it's trying to get the message out there for us that, yes, stillbirth is obviously a big part of what we're about, but general baby loss. And as I said before, it isn't just about the parents. It's not just about the mums and the dads. It's about the brothers. It's about the uncles. It's about the grandfathers and everybody else that's directly linked to the family. So don't just think that because it was maybe your son or your nephew or anyone else that's physically lost, that support network is there to be channeled right through the family, because there may be a time when you actually do need it. It's one of the hardest things, as I said, that you can go through. It can be mentally draining, and from a mental health perspective, Sands United, not just here but up and down the country, branching down as far as Kent up to Scotland. I believe we're also out in kind of Northern Ireland way as well. It's absolutely massive and it's crucial. Don't we don't want people to think that they have to go through baby loss on their own. We do have a saying as such, or a strapline, which is breaking the silence, and that's what it's all about. You hear a lot about kind of around mental health, about how people do suffer in silence. They suffer alone because they don't know where to go. They don't know who to speak to, and they don't feel that there is anyone there to give them that escape and platform in order to speak up and be heard without being judged. But that's what we as a club and all of the other clubs can do, and ultimately what SANS can do as well.
Thank you so much, Matt, and we can share the details if anybody is wanting to get involved in one of the SAN clubs up and down the country. We can share that, and thank you for sharing your experience with me, Matt.